online, urbanbroadcastmedia.com. If you are going to want to call in and talk with us, the number is 312-754-4333. Right now, outside of the studio, just left, Governor candidate J.B. Pritzker was in here conversating and dropping his plans for a position as governor should he win with Dr. Leon Finney. So he was able to do that, and we got a little all turned off for that. But we want to wish him and Miss Juliana Stratton, who is the co-running for lieutenant governor with him, good luck in all that they are doing as they run for their campaigns. And all the people that are out there running for campaigns, of judge and alderman and you name it. That is a great thing to want to give of service in a civic manner to the people. So good luck with all of that. But in the studio with me today, I have another recipient of the Akamrama Foundation Incorporated 5-target area for health promotion is what Dr. Dorian C. Miller is in my studio for today. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Happy to be here.
Well, I'm so glad that you all are here, and I'm so glad that you all were able to allow me and the Akamrama Foundation to continue to honor and promote and support what it is that you all do in the hood. So I term my Wednesdays on the show Doing Good in the Hood, where I highlight one organization throughout the week. But having had 5 winners in 5 days of the week right after the chapter turned 95, that I was, hustling to get all of you all on the show this week to give the people who weren't at the brunch and just, give you more opportunity to share about who you are, what you do, and how people can help or receive the benefits, of the services and the things that you do. So Dr. Miller is the director for the Center of Community Health and Vitality run through the University of Chicago. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And how long have you been there?
Been there almost 9 years.
Oh, okay. Well, then we surely have something to talk about. You're going to be doing that. But before we get into that, we want to talk about the news that professionals are talking about now. Did you know that Apple scored a new drama starring Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston? They beat out Netflix and CBS for this hot ticket show, says the Wall Street Journal. Each episode of the still unnamed series, they haven't even given it a name, could exceed $10 million. So I suspect that Netflix and CBS are a little bit upset that Apple beat them out on this. But the drama, for which both these A-lister actresses are executive producers, is the tech giant's second big content investment in the recent weeks, because following their deal with Steven Spielberg Amblin Television, Apple will reportedly spend some $1 billion on programming. A big bet, but still dwarfed by the Netflix $8 billion content budgets for 2018. So they're small, but they are working their way up to that. Do you watch Netflix or movies and stuff like that?
I do. I enjoy Netflix, yes. As a matter of fact, I have become addicted to Greenleaf. Yes, I was watching it this morning before I came over. It's quite a series.
It is a very good series. And my sister who's watching now knows that I tend to not be, what is the word? Starstruck or awed or intimidated by anybody. But I met Lynn Winfield behind stage on the Steve Harvey show, and I literally melted, because she is just one that is just so supreme in who she is and what she did. She was just like, oh, it's okay, and I was just like, so I have a whole show about talking for an hour, 5 days a week, and Lynn is standing in front of me, and I'm like, like I couldn't sing, I couldn't get anything out of my mouth. So she is, and that was before I even really saw Greenleaf the show, and that's just her, like all her other movies and all her other works that she has done. I absolutely love her, and so yes, that is a great show.
And Keith David is fantastic.
He is fantastic. Like the show is just, it's just great. I love the whole show. I think I sat my mom down unmistakably to her, because she hates series. She likes to watch her movie and the end be end, right? But she sat there, she was like, put that Greenleaf stuff back on, so she was the same way, wanted to keep watching it and watching it. So sorry I got her hooked on that, but it is a really good show. But now in other Apple news, Apple is pursuing plans for an augmented reality headset that could ship as early as 2020. You know, it's as if, you know, the TVs couldn't get any bigger, but now they have to come and be right in your face, I suspect. But they said the company has said it favors the technology which overlays images and the data in the real world to virtual reality. So, you know, that is definitely one. Now, coming off of having the governor candidate in the building, the Senate is expected to introduce its own tax bill today, according to Politico. The Senate version sharply diverges from the House GOP's plan, including, but not fully repealing, the estate tax, and will not contain the House provision for a 20% exercise tax. So you all know I am not the one for the politics and the political talking, but I do know that you should know all about what is going on around, you know, around and in and out of everything. Now, there is a hot topic this week. Has the 40-hour work week outlived its purpose? Do you work 40 hours, Dr. Lowe?
I have never worked 40 hours.
You probably work way more than 40 hours, right?
Most definitely. And you know, with the way the technology is making it possible for people to work even when they are not physically in the building,
Absolutely.
so to speak, I think that most people end up working more.
They're working more. And if we got rid of the 40-hour work week, what would we just say? It's just a work week, because you can't put an hour on it anymore. I remember when it was like the new lawyers or the new little auditors, they were the ones putting in 90-hour work weeks, you know, in those beginning days. But now, the average individual could do 90 hours a week easily.
Well, I also think that their expectations, I think that people really do need to make separations between their work life and their personal lives, if not for the fact that they need to give their children a model to say, you know, your work is not your life. You have a life to live.
And you can unplug.
Absolutely.
Unplug. I know. I need to take my own advice, because anyone who's gotten emails from me at 2:30 in the morning will know that, you know, I am, you know, up. But my issue is I do a lot of movement around. So I'm driving. Well, obviously you all don't want me sending emails and texting while driving. So then it's not until I get stationary that I can review and approve and you know, look at stuff and then respond. So then, yes, you're late into the late hours by the time it's done, and not fair to everybody else that's out there too either. So, all right, well, I think we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to come back and learn a little bit more about Dr. Miller, why she won this grassroots award from the Akarama Foundation, because everyone that has come in here thus far, I have gotten all the fans, everybody's just so excited to know more about what you all do and what, you know, how you have designed yourselves to help others in sharing that knowledge or access or resources or whatever it may be. So we're going to find out more about that from our Doing Good in the Hood week, because it's not just a day this week, it's a whole week this week of honoring those individuals. We'll be right back after these messages. You are listening to Urban Broadcast Media. Good. We just want to make sure you talk. There's no talking too loud in radio, right? Like, talk really loud, because they can't hear you when I can hear you very fine, but then those out there in TV radio world, hey everybody. My sister told me I was speechless. Yes, I could not. Hey Haywood, HP. So I'm BP and you HP. Hey. Hey Eric. Hey Dejanay. Hey Audrey, Tanae, and Tamiko, and Pat, and Mr. Mark Allen. Hey Iris, Gregory Brown, Mel, Angela. All right. There's somebody over here taking pictures, just so you know I'm not just posing in the camera. Back from the floor. And I just got me a new social media maven that's going to be working with me. And so all my Bertina Power fans know that we're probably going to be moving you to the Empower Hour page, as that's where you're going to be able to watch me live going forward. But stay tuned. We'll keep you abreast of all of that, okay? All right. So then we'll come back and we'll start with your initial backing into the health for a few minutes,
Okay.
take a break, and then we'll get back into what it is that you're doing right now. That's why I said I don't have enough on my thing, but we're going to wing it. You just start
We'll be
talking.
fine.
You'll be fine. Hey, everybody out there. Hey, Mark Allen. You know what? Leave me alone, Sissy Pooh. Go to work somewhere. Hey, Lane. Hey, Edward. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Control. Yes. Today is Thursday already. Can you believe that? Hey, everybody, it's the colon cancer survivor. So Mark Allen, he's a colon cancer survivor. And he's pro-education about health. I know that's right, Mark. All right. You are back and you are listening to Empower Hour with Bertina Power on Urban Broadcast Media. Want to remind everybody to follow and don't forget to like me at Bertina Power on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Snapchat. Now you are watching us live on YouTube over there, as Facebook over here, and so hi to everybody that's out there. In the studio with me right now is Dr. Dorian C. Miller, and she is the director of the Center for Community Health and Vitality. Now, tell me, Doc, where is this Center for Community Health and Vitality?
So it is not a physical center,
Okay.
It is a virtual center, but it is operated through the University of Chicago Medicine. It's a part of the Urban Health Initiative there.
All right, so when someone wants to get information or connect with this group, then you have to go via online.
You can go online and put in the search term either Urban Health Initiative or Center for Community Health and Vitality, and we have a landing page that tells you about our activities, our goals, what we're doing in the community, and why we exist.
Okay, so then tell us, why do you all exist?
Well,
what are the goals?
I'm going to start off with a general statement that I think will really hit home with your listening audience. And this is a quote from the World Health Organization from 1946. Health is the complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity.
I think I said that quote on my show the other day.
Did
so
you know?
yes, I think I
Thank
did.
you.
I know that quote. I end my show, every show with a quote. And so I have a different quote for you in the end of the show. But yes, that is true, because that was what the quote said, was that it's more than just your physical.
It's more than just your physical health, and one of the things that we know is that in order to keep people healthy, that medical care, when you go to the doctor, when you receive medications, only accounts for about 10 to 20% of your total well-being. Health has a lot more to do with where you live, whether or not you have a job, do you have social supports in your life, what kind of environment do you live in, all of those, and also your heredity. But your heredity is not necessarily your destiny around your health, in that you may have family members that have particular conditions. In our community, you think about diabetes, you think about high blood pressure, you think about heart disease, but there are things that you can do to promote your health that can actually help to avoid those things. And so if I could give one message to your listeners today, your heredity is not your destiny. Okay?
You heard that, right? Your heredity is not your destiny. I like that, Dr. Miller. And that is because a lot of times people succumb mentally to that's what it's going to be, but don't think, let me do what I can to change that outcome. The same as if those who grow into low-income families and that surrounding, that's not your destiny. You don't have to end up in that same scenario. You can make changes to do other things and end up in another place and change the trajectory of the rest of your legacy and your family.
Absolutely correct. And one of the things that we look to in terms of people being able to change that hereditary or that susceptibility towards developing some of these issues have to do more with lifestyle changes. And so you think about what is it that you eat?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get enough sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have people in your life that you can go to when you have issues or problems? And so thinking about people that love you and having a support system. All of those things play into whether or not you're going to be healthy or not.
Yeah, because the stress that would come from somebody not supporting you, or you're having to carry the weight of all things and no help and no one encouraging you, or for you to have a shoulder to cry on when necessary, builds up inside of you and then causes those internal cancerous and diseases and maybe overeating, and hence leading me to high blood pressure, and then more of this leading me to diabetes, right? That's the continuum that winds up happening.
That's right. In addition to running the Center for Community Health and Vitality at the University of Chicago, I'm also a primary care doctor. My background is in internal medicine, which means that I'm a doctor for adults.
Okay.
So I treat conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, but I also want to make sure that your listening audience knows that doctors like me focus their messages around prevention. And so I know that one of your callers talked a little bit about his background, and maybe we could come back to that after the break and talk about prevention and why that's important for men and women. For
men and women, specifically men, because I do have a lot of men that are watching, and I know we speak a lot to the women, but I know that the men have their own needs and concerns and things like that. So we are going to take a quick station break. We'll be right back as we continue to talk to Dr. Dorian C. Miller, who's the director for Center for Community Health and Vitality at the University of Chicago, but also a practicing physician, as well as an associate associate professor of medicine at the University of Chicago. A lot going on your plate too, Doc. All right, we'll be right back after these messages. You are listening to urbanbroadcastmedia.com. Don't forget to log in or download the app. We'll be right back. Yes. All right, I'm so glad you saw that, because I was like, well, we let you finish your thought. Some of my engineers are very specific to the minute and the time, and others just like, nobody else knows it. That's break time but us. So, okay, so you're a practicing doctor too. Okay. All right. Yes. Yes. Okay. Dark. Hi. Welcome back to Urban Broadcast Media's newest show, Empower Hour. We're here at noon while you are enjoying your lunch at your desk or walking around with your headphones on. Either way, we appreciate you joining in and following us. Now, in the studio, another recipient for doing good in the hood, Dr. Dorian C. Miller over at the Center for Community Health and Vitality, affiliated with the University of Chicago, is here in the studio as an extenuating congratulations from Akarama Foundation and the community abroad, and my listeners, for what it is that you continue to do in our community, specifically making sure that, you know, in our community we are educated, enriched, and empowered to do what is best for us and our families.
You know, you talk about the issue of education and empowerment, and when I came to went to the ceremony on Sunday, I thought about the 95 years of service that Akarama has been providing to the African American community of Chicago. And I think that the tradition of service really resonated with why I do what I do in the community, and that you've been doing it in Akarama for 95 years.
Right, so the sororities chapter, Theta Omega, has been doing it 95 years. 36 years ago, they founded the 501c3 Akarama Foundation to do the programs and the service under the non-for-profit. So they've been doing it, doing service the whole 95 years, you are correct. But under the title of Akarama, it's been 36 years that we've been doing that. And I thought, what better way to celebrate the 95 years that the chapter has been doing than to do what we always do, which is be of service and honor those who do what we do as well, and in the various categories. So we had the 5 areas, and you fell under the health, being submitted and recommended by one of our members, and then honored with that award. So I do hope that you enjoyed the lunch and that honor, and I speak on behalf of the 400 members that we say again, congratulations.
Thank you. It's quite such an honor and a privilege. Thank you.
You are so very welcome. Now, Dr. Miller, before we go too much more into that, I just want to remind everybody that you're a South Sider. Yes.
Grew up, born and raised on the South Side.
On the South Side. Where did you go to school?
So, went to school in Woodlawn until I was about 9 or 10 years old, and then after that lived in the Chatham-Avalon area, and so went there. Went to college here in the city, Illinois Institute of Technology.
Gotcha.
And I graduated from medical school from the University of Chicago Pritzker School of Medicine.
So you really had to take a picture with Pritzker out there in the hallway. That's the school name upon which you graduated from. Oh my God, what an honor. Who knew? Like, I didn't know he was going to be here today. So, today was your day. You picked today to be the day, and you picked a great day. And what that's fantastic, right?
It's quite an honor to be able to appreciate the kind of contributions that the Pritzker family has made to the city of Chicago in so many ways, but incredibly proud to be a graduate of that medical school.
All right, yes. Oh my gosh, I am just like beaming for you right about now, because that is exciting. That is exciting. All right, so we were talking, before the break about how you were saying that you cannot or you do not have to let your heritage be your destiny, with regards to the historical nature that your family may have fallen under with high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, or the like, and that you can make some preventive things happen in your world.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, anywhere from 30 to 40% of our overall health is due to the things that we do on a daily basis. And so thinking about what you eat, who is in your life, whether or not you have opportunities to have good sleep, all of those things have an impact, and you can make changes in those things even though you may have a strong family history of a particular condition. And I must say that even if you develop any problems with heart disease or diabetes or those things, it does not have to happen that you have severe complications from it. You can do things in order to make changes in your life so that you can live with illnesses and still have a very happy and healthy life.
Now, you were saying earlier that the mission and the goals of the Center for Community Health and Vitality, let's go into how does that play out? What is it that you as the director in this organization, or this virtual, because you said you were virtual, so they're a virtual center, what do they do in the day-to-day?
We work with people in Southside communities around the areas of research, demonstrations in the community, and also community and education that is designed to improve the health and well-being of people who live on the south side of Chicago.
And so you have an event that's coming up then, and that event's focus is what?
That focus will be, and the title of it is called Eat to Live. It will be a conversation about diabetes and weight loss. And so one of the things we were just talking about is how, if someone has a tendency towards developing diabetes or even has it in a very early stage, they can actually work on things themselves in order to make themselves healthier. So we're going to have a community conversation around it. We're also going to be having, as a part of that event, a healthy meal. And we do our events not at the university, we do them in the community.
So you do them in the community,
yes.
In the location. So where is this one and when is it?
Okay, so Thursday, November 16th.
So next Thursday.
Next Thursday. It's going to be not too far from here.
Okay.
Oakwood Community Center,
Yes.
3825 South Vincennes Avenue. It will be, we will host it along with a number of our community partners, including places like Quad Communities Development Corporation, the Network of Woodlawn, Near North Health Services Corporation, and a number of other community partners that work with us on these events.
So what time was it again?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock
6 to 8.
and 6 to 8, and then you said something about a meal, so they will be getting a healthy meal or learning how to prepare a healthy meal?
Both.
Both, okay.
Those things. If for those of you who are online, if you go on to Eventbrite and you put in Community Grand Rounds November 2017, so NOV 2017, you will be led to a link where you can make an RSVP, a reservation to come, and we welcome the public to come to these events. They are absolutely...
And they cost anything, Dr.
No,
Miller?
no.
Okay, because see, that's what I like to let all my listeners, know is that out here, all these resources and all this information to help you or somebody you love, and it's for free.
It's for free.
It's for free, and then it's like, why not go? And there's a saying out there, right? If it's free, it's for me, right? If it's free, it's for me, and that's what you should say. I mean, because information, we gave away on that Saturday 220 turkeys to families in the Woodlawn area, right? And so they will line up for that, for the food. They will line up for that, and I get that. But this information about what's best to do with the food you might get for free is also a place you need to be standing in line for.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there is a cost to it, but it's not something that's going to come out of your pocket. The cost is the time that you invest in yourself in order to make sure that you and your family members stay healthy.
I would agree, Dr. Miller. And, some of that, does it not also change with what we put in the shopping cart?
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely. And some of the events that we've done, we've been doing these community grand rounds events since 2010, so we are now in our 8th year of doing the events. We've actually had people to come in to do cooking demonstrations using food from places like Aldi and Save a Lot, so that people can learn how to make healthy and tasty meals, because it doesn't take Whole Foods money and Whole Foods paychecks in order to stay healthy. And so I think that that's something that's very important for our community to know, that you can do this and do it within a way that's manageable on a budget.
Absolutely, because you mentioned, a place like Aldi's, and, I've been known to be shopping in there. But like they'll have the frozen fish, right, in there, and I have an option to bread it and fry it, or put it on a pan and put it in the oven and bake it, right? Same product. Which way am I going to do it to make my outcome of my health better, right? And that's what you're saying.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and I have had times, Doc, and I'm just sharing this, that I've been in the grocery store and everybody's looking at my cart, green leafy vegetables, fruit, and, the fish, and whatever else it is that I have in there. And everybody knows me on occasion, I might have a bag of potato chips. But not on this case, I didn't have it. But then this lady was coming up behind me and she had her meat and some other stuff, one would consider not as healthy of a basket. And then she goes, oh, I wish I could shop like that and do that. And I just said, it's just a choice whether I want to pay now or pay later. Right? So am I going to pay for these foods, now that one would think, like you said, is costly? Or am I going to pay for the medication that I'm going to have to take?
If you don't mind, I'm going to borrow that when I've made
You can have it.
Thursday night. I will attribute it. I said the president of Akarama Foundation, Theta Omega, said, you can pay now or you can pay later.
Absolutely.
Make your choice.
Make your choice, because I'm like, I can pay now and pay all this money, eat well, eat good and clean, as one would call it, right? They call that clean eating. Eat good and clean and do that now, or I can plan to have to be paying co-payments on this medication and managing this and running to this doctor and then that doctor and this, so that was just a choice I made.
It's the thing about this historically as a people is that we have not always been as sick as we are now. So many of our family members came up from the South, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, and they came up at a time in which they might have meat in a meal, and I'm not talking about beef or pork, I'm talking about chicken once or twice a week, and most of their meals were plant-based, so thinking about greens, thinking about cornbread, maybe putting a little bit of buttermilk in there, and then having those types of things. That was a much healthier way of eating. People walked everywhere.
They walked everywhere.
Everywhere. They did not get in their cars.
Right.
And they had much healthier lives at that time. And so this is a little little bit of Back to the Future, I think.
Right, but you are so very right, because I had another health doctor in here, and we were talking about that same thing, that the meat was a bonus. You know, in I don't know what happened, but meat was a bonus in the world of our ancestrals, as well as I had a grandmother who grew her own chickens. And her own pigs were in the yard and what have you. And so she ate those. And my dad used to say for a long time, well, my mother grew up eating. I said, yeah, she grew it herself, you know, and then she cooked it. So she didn't have it processed even after it was, you know, done that way. And then I think that our DNA, right, with you now, you're talking about hereditary, in our DNA, somehow it has continued to pass along that this is the only way for us to eat. And this is the best way. And this is the most tasty way for us to make our food.
Well, I think that there have been some things that have been lost over time in terms of being able to prepare our foods in a certain way. The fact that it does take time to, you know, sit down and to make a pot of beans, and you don't necessarily have to have, you know, sausages or salt pork or other things in them, but that you can still make them healthy. I remember having this conversation with one of our former elected official recently, in which the elected official said that she was tired of seeing young moms walking around the streets feeding their babies
hot chips.
She called it, she said, blue juice and flaming red hot. And she said, you know, I wish that they would go home and make the babies a bowl of oatmeal. Well, you know, that same company that makes the flaming red hots also makes the oatmeal.
Really?
Yes, and the question of how do we make those choices is say, well, it's consumer demand. We're going to make things in a certain way.
What everybody wants.
What everybody wants. Because we're in a business of selling things. Well, how about changing that demand for things that are healthier for you and your families?
Well, and I would agree too, because you know what I always say, like I can't go into certain, say either gas stations or local community stores and find those hot chips, but I can find them on the south side. You know, you can't, they're not everywhere, but you can find them in the stores and in the areas, like you said, where the demand becomes greater. Then in those other areas, nobody is demanding to have those on the shelves with the food that is going on. So, all right. So if anybody wants to get to this event, they have to RSVP. Okay. And so let's tell them again. It's next Thursday.
Next Thursday, Oakwood Community Center, 6 p.m. That's at 3825 South Vincennes Avenue. Please go online and register through Eventbrite. If you go into Community Grand Rounds, NOV 2017 on Eventbrite, you'll come to a link where you can register for the event. We'll be serving a light meal with it, and we'll have a great conversation about eating to live, a conversation about diabetes and weight loss.
All right, so now what was the address of the location? The Oakwood Community Center?
3825 South Vincennes Avenue.
Okay, all right, that's right here in the city in Chicago. Now, Doc, before I let you go, I understand you are the author of 2 plays. Now, I don't know where you find time for all of this. You are writing plays, you are a doctor and have a whole loop, you know, patients, and then the director of facility and an associate pastor. So tell me a little bit about the 2 plays. It Should Have Been Me?
It Should Have Been Me.
Okay, and what was the other play?
Wish You Were Here.
Wish You Were Here. So tell me, what was It Should Have Been Me about?
So It Should Have Been Me is the story of a 15-year-old young man whose best friend was killed in a drive-by shooting between freshman and sophomore year of high school. And his subsequent decline into just a terrible state of grief and depression over the loss of his friend.
Wow, and so then he went into depression. And so then Wish You Were Here, is that also a part of that, or is that different?
That's a separate play. That's about domestic violence.
About domestic violence. Wow, so you covered 2 serious issues there with depression and domestic violence. So I understand I have a caller on the phone. All right, hello, caller. Oh, thank you, Carl. But you are right, because we are fast approaching that Turkey Day, aren't we? Yeah, and the holiday. Yes, and so you just wanted to call and say thanks for making sure we remind everybody on what to eat and what not to eat. Well, that's good, because we were just saying too, the younger they are, you get them on the track that you want them on at that young age. How young are your students? Okay. Gotcha. Right. Right. That is, you know, I'm a mother of a special needs son, Carl. So yes, and so I do understand that one, you have to almost make the choices for them, or they won't. You know, if they can function at a level of thinking for themselves, then they won't eat what they won't eat. Right. Yes, yes. Well, look, God bless you, Carl, for keeping up with our special needs, or as I like to say, those who make us special. You know, because yeah, they really truly do. How long have you been doing it, Carl? 20 years. Wow. Yeah. Gotcha. I did not know that. All right, Carl. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing with us that this is, like you said, the right time to stay focused, right? And maybe they could throw in some swimming. He likes to, you know. All right, I thank you for that offer. Thank you for that offer, and keep on encouraging them though to get some of the good food. I know they fight you, but sometimes after they taste it, they may like it a little bit better. All right. Well, thank you, Carl, for calling in. We're going to take a quick station break right now and come back and wrap up our conversation with the honoree for health promotion, Dr. Dorian C. Miller, MD, the director of the Center for Community Health and Vitality, as she continues to do the daily grind, not only as an associate professor, not only as a doctor, and not only as the director for this center promoting good health, right? Okay. We'll be right back after these messages. Oh, yeah, now, it wasn't until the end that I realized which Carl that was. I was like, what? Hey, everybody. Can't believe I lost what happened on this page here. I don't know what happened. Lost my feed over here. There's too much going on. Hey, everybody. Hey, Keith. Hey, Dre. Hey, Michael. Hey, Denise, Wardell, and Tiffany, and Will, and Sandra, and Darius. Whoever was watching me on my... Okay, there we go. Don't end it. Okay. There we go. I don't know, guys, if you all were watching us this whole time, but I'm sorry. We're back. All right. Okay, so that's good. So we'll remind them again about that event. I'll say my community events that are coming up. Okay. That's the healthcare sector, so that's a job fair. Mm-hmm. People in the healthcare profession. And then I have my quote for you. But yes, I did that quote before. That's a good one. Really like that one. Hey, everybody. Denise says she loves this information.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Thank you.
One of the members. Mm-hmm. We talk about healthy. We got to talk about Leon barbecue. Got to have some healthy stuff in there. All right. Welcome back. As we are listening to the Leon's Barbecue commercial, I'm going to have to say, Dr. Finney, we're going to need some healthy choices made with that famous Leon barbecue sauce on them, right? Maybe because we were just talking about how we want to make sure our communities have options when they go to some of their favorite places. They can just tweak the recipe just a little bit, no?
Well, it's a question of moderation. You can have barbecue. Every once in a while, maybe, once or twice a year. You can make other choices while you're there. You can have chicken as opposed to having rib tips or sausages. hot links, but it's a question of figuring out how do you fit it in with the rest of your life, and how do you also add in things like regular exercise as a way to balance all of the things that you want to have. So, and there's some diet plans that will tell you you have to only eat certain things.
Right.
And as a doctor, I tell my patients, I say, you can eat everything that you want to unless it makes you sick, but it's a question of how much you have and when you do it.
All right, so not a whole lot. You tell me now my big old plate with the food falling over, and then I'm go back second time and get some more, and then hold out for an hour and go back and get a third one. I can't eat it like that.
Think about your plate in quarters. 2 of the quarters should be whatever vegetable you're having. 1 quarter should be for your fish, your chicken, whatever protein you're having. The other one should be for your starch, and so you're thinking about your pasta, your rice, your potatoes. And having that within this frame of a 9-inch plate.
I was just getting ready to say, now wait a minute, that's a 12-inch plate?
No. 9-inch plate is usually a standard size. But if half of it is taken up by vegetables or salad, I think that's important. I was also thinking about something that you were discussing with Carl just a moment ago, and that is getting kids and encouraging them to eat. If you want them to eat a salad, and they may not necessarily like bell pepper or cucumbers or other things, if you have the opportunity, cut up an apple or a pear, or in the summertime, you can put strawberries, fresh fruit on that salad, and add other things to it. It will make them
Make it fun.
Make it fun and make them more likely to eat it.
Right, but I would think that just of what you're saying and what Carl is saying too is that the kids learn from watching you. Because everyone wants to know, how do I get my son to drink as much water as he drinks, right? And like pop is just like something he goes, like never gets it. Well, why? Because water is all that's in my house.
That's right.
But that's all that I like, outside of some additional cocktails here and there. But he knows that is grown folks drink, and he can't have any. But water is the thing. It's like when he was young, you got one little 4-ounce, 6-ounce cup of juice, and then if you were so thirsty for anything else, there's the water. And I got the water fountain, the kind that they have on the job where you walk up and you can get as much water as you want. And I told him, you never have a control over that. Drink as much of that as you want. But I then soon learned that as you were, you can over consume in water too, right? That really he should have about half his body weight in water, on a daily basis.
But about 6 cups of water a day, and also people will get fluids through other things, whether it be coffee, tea, and other things that happens as well. But this issue about pop, I remember when my daughter was young, I had a party at my home, and I got beverages that would satisfy everybody. And one of the things was a particular pop that comes in a red can that shall be named nameless. Okay? And so, however, during this party, she happened to get into a little this pop that was in a red can. And 6 months after the party, I never will forget this, she told me, she said, Mommy, you need to go buy some more of that brown stuff that was in the red can. I like that stuff. And I said, what are you talking about? She said, that's that special drink that you had at the party. That tastes good. I just said, 6 months later, this child remembered what this is about.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't buy pop. I don't have it in my house, but it's that kind of impression that it makes on our young people. It's so young.
And and ironically, we just had this pop tax fight going on here in Chicago, and I guess it got repealed and things like that. But I didn't really have a dog in the fight per se, but I could understand the side that said if we make it hard for you to get your hands on it, then maybe not so much. But
well, I think that there are other issues around that, and the issue of what are people going to drink and making it appealing and thinking about it as if it's just water is good.
water.
A little bit of lemon in that water if you want to give it some flavor. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dr. Miller, I wanted to thank you for this opportunity to dwell more into who you are as an individual and what you are continuing to do good in the hood through obviously something that you have a current passion for because you went through medical school, so some part of that was to adhere to making sure that as individuals and humans and health in your community that you were able to provide knowledge, the knowledge base there first, right? And then now the director of the Center for Community Health and Vitality, specifically geared toward the urban communities. And so before I let you go though, urban community versus other. What is it that, what are some of the things that you found in this, working in this organization, that you had to do differently or communicate differently?
Communicating with people in the language that they want to speak with them in the way that they want to be spoken to.
Okay.
One of the things that we do, for those of you who in the audience that may be familiar with more of a medical grand rounds and people being lectured to in terms of providing information, we have community conversations. And we call it community grand rounds because our community partners run the agenda. They tell me what they want to hear about. And they want to hear about things, not the typical high blood pressure, asthma, or sickle cell. They want to hear about violence in the community. That's one of the reasons why I wrote the 2 plays. They want to hear about positive parenting in the 21st century. They want to hear about things that matter to them and language that is important to them. And so, again, it is something that we focus on, that is the questions that come up that are pertinent to members of our African American community and helping to support their health and well-being.
Yes, well that is good, because you have to know your audience, right? Isn't that what they always say? They tell the personalities that on TV and radio. They tell you that if you're a teacher, if you're doing any kind of community, know your audience, right? So if I don't know who you are, I don't know the language you speak, right? It's almost like if I went into a room full of Asian Americans and I'm talking English and 99% of them speak no fluent English, then I'm not getting across to you no matter how good the information may be.
And sometimes people interpret as that you're talking at me, but you're not talking with me.
Or,
you're not having a conversation.
Do you hear back from what I have to say about it? Because like you said, well, these good foods are not in my community. Well, your group has gone out and found, no, the very stores you're shopping in, buy this versus that.
Exactly.
Put this on it versus that.
Exactly. And if they think that vegetables and things are too expensive, tell you a little bit about the farmers market that's at 61st and Blackstone. For people who are there, they can get coupons if they have a doctor at the University of Chicago, which will give them double the amount of produce that they can buy if they have a link card.
Gotcha.
So it's not, you can still eat healthy diet and you don't have to bust your budget.
Right, but some part of that is just an excuse, though. At the end of the day, it's just an excuse that you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it.
Change is hard.
Yeah.
Change is hard, but as you said just a moment ago, you can either pay now or pay later.
Pay now or pay later. And I had a guest in here that says, Spanky Pickles, James Mean, and a group in this church, they give away all the vegetables. Every Sunday, they give it away to the parishioners or anybody who walks up. What they grow out of that garden, they just give it away. You know, so there are, as we say all the time, resources for all of these things. So if it's free, it's for me. So if you really want to do it, there's a way to get it done. And on some ways for free, or double what it is, according to what you're saying. If I'm on the link and if I have this, then I get double the amount of vegetables that I could for the same dollar, right? Which is awesome. And this is just awesome. Don't you see why I love doing this show, right? Because it is the great opportunity to not only share the information to everybody who's listening, and I always ask them, take the information and share it with somebody else, right? So you can share this link to other people and watch this on the Facebook page. You will have access to use this, throughout your media escape there and what it is that we do. But giving the information and sharing it to the community is key. And I find that my grassroots groups, like yourself and organizations, you're doing it. You've been doing it 10 years now, some of them 30 years. They just continue to do what they do for the love of it. But nobody knows about it. And I don't think that's fair. And that you should have a platform by which you can share the information with others and say, get up and get out and go get the information.
Well, having the opportunity to come here on your show through Urban Broadcast Media, I think is one of the ways that we can provide this information and share it with the community.
Absolutely, and I think that is, one of the reasons why I agreed to do it. And as much as this is added to my schedule, I still make it happen because it is the bigger picture and it is the outcome on the end. It is all the fans and everybody watching it and saying, oh my God, this is great information. I didn't know this, or I'm going to share this with somebody. And so we want to continue to do that. And I also do by letting you know what's going on in the community. So Chicago Healthcare Sector Center's Fall Job Fair and Hiring Event tonight, actually it was today, it was from 10 to 1. But I just wanted to share the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership. This organization, I just found out today, they are doing a lot of things as far as allowing individuals, if you don't have a computer but you want to search for jobs, if you need to fill out an application online but you have no access to a computer, you don't have access to a fax machine or anything, you can walk into this location at 7500 South Pulaski, building number 100, and this center, they do training, they give you access, and it's all for free.
Wow.
And they have a whole veterans section. So as we are coming up on Veterans Day and the Veterans Weekend, I just want you to know that you have this opportunity to do this thing. They have a networking and career event happening on November 13th at St. Paul Catholic Church, which is at 2100 West on 22nd Place in Chicago, from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. And this American Job Center network that I was talking about, the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership, is one of the groups that are doing, these things in the neighborhood and giving complete and free access to individuals. Everybody says, oh, I can't find a job, I don't have a computer, or the library, or what have you. This group does training, give you access. If you have a phone interview, they have phones for you to sit at and have your phone interview on the phone. I think it's just awesome. So I'm going to be sharing a lot more as I learn more about this organization and group. But you can go to the 7500 South Pulaski. Go in there and find out what they have doing. So if you or somebody you know is looking for a job or needs some access, free. And I asked them, income? No. Nationality, veteran status, any reason I can't come in here? And they said no. So there's no reason anybody can't be a part of that. As well as the end of the show for the hour. Time goes by so fast, Dr. Miller. But here was my quote for you for today.
All right.
To enjoy good health, to bring true happiness to one's family, to bring peace to all, one must first discipline and control one's own mind. If a man can control his mind, he can find the way to enlightenment, and all wisdom and virtue will naturally come to him. And that's a Buddha quote. Now, is that not what you just said about how it's one whole family and everything? I just love how this just works itself out. To enjoy good health and to bring true happiness to one family, to peace to all, one must first discipline and control one's mind. Remember, I sat here and said, you're just coming up with excuses, right? Because you can do it. You just need to decide that you want to do it. You all are listening to Empower Hour, and I am Bertina Power. This is Urban Broadcast Media, and I thank you for joining us again as we are continuing to do good in the Hood Week. We've got one more day on Friday. Tomorrow we've got Epkin coming in tomorrow, as he is our global impact doing good in the hood, and we're going to honor him right here on Urban Broadcast Media. You can download the app or go to urbanbroadcastmedia.com weekdays at noon. Bye. Yes! Oh my God, so my quotes, they just wind up